Hello, I'm Melanie. I am an artist illustrator here in Scotland, and we're back for another week of lots of arty fun. That was an intro, right? So this week's a bit different. It's going to not be my usual vlog where I take you through my week as an artist and a small business owner. We are actually going to be doing some art this week. So this whole video is going to be a kind of process video, and I take you through how I've been making this new style of painting I've been doing with watercolour and flowers and everything. A bit of kind of art therapy. So first things first is to pick a colour palette. I've already got one picked out, this lovely pink one, but I wanted another one, and I was looking through my colour cards for a bit of inspiration. I fell in love with this awesome colour. It's so pretty. There are so many lovely palettes in these colour cubes, but today the autumn one was just speaking to me. I'm totally not holding it in my mouth right now. You can see I've been doing a lot of these recently. Here's everything I've been working on. And it really has become a bit of like art therapy for me. It has been so freeing and fun, and hopefully you'll get that sense throughout the process. I'm short. Gotta get comfy, and I am loving the new studio layout. Just to have so much more space to do my art in, I can just pop my apron on and get going. So first step in this watercolor flower blob page is to tape up the page, which you just saw, and then soak it wet. Soaking it wet just means that hopefully when I add the rest of the paint on later, and I use a lot of water in this process, it's not going to buckle as much. The paper is not going to buckle as much, and it gives it a chance to stretch out and breathe while I mix up the colours. I've been using this set of Winsor & Newton watercolour for years. It was actually given to me by my mum, who isn't too much of a painter but wanted to kind of dabble in watercolours, and did a few paintings that were quite nice, and then decided she didn't want it anymore. So I got it. I was passed on down to me. I must have had these for about 15 years now. I am getting very close to actually having to replace some of them, which is crazy. So first step is just to check all the colours on the little colour palette I've mixed up. And I like to set all my colours out before I start to make sure they're cohesive, they're going to work together. And I can just quickly grab them when I want to use them. I don't have to sit and wait for this painting to dry at all during the process. This isn't a very detailed, very, pre-planned painting style. It really is just get the colour palette and let's go. So I re-soak the paper now, and my water's already a wee bit dirty, but it's working with this colour palette, so we're going to roll with it. Making sure the pages are absolutely sodden. Oh, quick tea break. And back in we go. So I start off with the background. Now, I have done a few of these now, and I'm learning that the paler colours are better in the background. As much as I would love to have like a fully dark green background with these lovely bright yellow flowers, how I'm doing these in a very casual, easygoing way is just not suited to that. I'm better putting the paler colours in the background and then layering the darker colours, which will eventually become the flowers, on top. So for this one, I decided, because I knew it was going to be flowers, and the colour palette had lots of these lovely greens in it, I was like, oh, I wonder if we can just make like grass in the background. So almost have like a sunsetty yellow sky, and then the green base being all kinds of grass. Now, this was something I hadn't really done before, but the background was just coming out way too saturated. So I thought I'll grab my cloth and dab it down, and it worked really well. I thought it came out really nice. then I decided the green's greening, but if we're gonna lean into this grass, I should just lean into it, and just started doing these big broad strokes, making like you're like right down in the grass and you're tiny and the blades are huge. These paintings have very much been, like I said, kind of art therapy for me, just leaning into the process, going with the flow, just going with what my brain feels right, as opposed to sticking to the same thing every single time. And this time, drawing in blades of grass felt right, and hopefully you'll agree by the end of the process that it was the right thing to do. I think it turned out really nice. Next step is for the flowers. So this is really not planned pieces. It's very much use the paint and the brushes how you feel like it, and I really just want to chuck paint down, not be too precise. I did notice though this one was drying out a wee bit, so I just wanted to wet the background a little bit to make sure the blobs were not exploding. They were going off on their own little adventure, you know, going with the flow as much as I was. So the flower colours I decided to keep all the kind of reds for. So we're using this kind of more orangey red at the moment, and then the darker, deeper reds will be up next. Sometimes I don't get as much paint down as I would like the first time, so I just take the colour, make sure it's nice and saturated, lots on my brush, and blob some more down. So sadly, I haven't actually managed to finish this piece before this video needed to go up today, but this is where the blobs ended up, and if you keep an eye on my Instagram or even on another video, hopefully you'll see this one being done. Now, one piece I did finish was this fully pink purple piece, which looks quite intense looking at the colour palette at the top of the board that you can see and on my watercolour palette, but it actually turned out so nice. I was so excited about this one. So starting off the same way, putting down the paler colours on the backgrounds. Although there really weren't many paler colours on this one, I did struggle and decided to use a wee bit more blue to give it a wee bit more contrast, because it was feeling very samey. So I thought I'd get out the lilac and lean into the purples a bit more than maybe the colour palette would have given me. And also decided to use the same technique of lifting some of the background up to help brighten it up. And I think it worked so well. That looks so good. Considering I was worried about it being too saturated, it came out perfectly. And now onto the colour blobs. This one I was feeling a wee bit more intentional. I was aiming for wetter areas of the paper this time, and just kept blobbing them down using those more saturated pinks and adding a wee bit more purple into them as well towards the end. This is so much fun to watch back. I've been enjoying making these recently, but watching them back and editing this video has also been so much fun. Just there's parts of the process that I don't normally get to see because I'm focused on where my brush is as opposed to watching where all the other colours are spreading out. And again, this one turned out really cool once it had dried. So my next step is making all these blobs into flowers. And to do that, I take a saturated, darker version of the blob colour to add shadows and depth, and then also add a white highlighter pen, which you'll see later. I also want to make sure to add shadows, they all go to the bottom, so when I do this stage, I always prop my artwork up, unlike the first stage where it's laid flat. Watercolour is great, and you can use gravity to help you. It is fantastic. So as I said, use the dark saturated colour to kind of help pick out where I see/imagine, this is where it gets a bit weird, see/imagine the petals to be on each of the blobs and turn them into flowers. It's kind of a hard process to explain, but hopefully seeing it will help. I don't know. There's just something about the watercolour blobs that I'm like, I can see a flower in them. I can look at it and go, okay, a petal goes there, and a petal goes there, and a petal goes there. Some of them are a bit harder than others, and there was one in this one, oh, it was so hard. I so struggled to get it, and it was the big purple blob on the most right little bit of paper. Oh, I do it last. When we get to the end, you'll see me do it last. It took so long to figure it out. But yeah, I think that's all I have to say about this bit, so I'm gonna go quiet for a little sec and let you guys watch these flowers appear. Enjoy. And I'm back. Hello. So now that I've finished all the shadows, hopefully you guys can see the flowers that I also saw in my head. I swear I'm not crazy. And we're going in and adding the highlights. Now this just helps give the flowers a bit more form, and also some of the ones that are maybe a wee bit less formed, I can add some extra space to them, steal a little bit of the background and add that into the petal of the flower. Here I'm also taking a clean brush that's not had any colour on it, using a slight bit of, again, clear, clean water to soften the white and kind of steal some of the ink and blend it down, again to like steal some of the background for the petals. You could probably get away without doing this step, but I really think this brings it to life and just adds that wee bit more contrast to everything, pulls the flowers away from the background, gives them a bit more form, a bit more shape, and also helps just liven the piece up. There's something about these wee white highlights that just livens the piece up so much, in my opinion. It's just, I like it. I enjoy it. It's fun. So I think that's everything I've got to say about the process of these paintings. I really hope you enjoyed watching me make them. They have been a fantastic source of just unparalleled creativity for me. You just get your paints out, pick a palette, whether at your own head or using my wee cube, and just go for it and have fun. There's no stress, there's no pressure. It's just pure creativity, which is something everyone needs, whether you're an artist, whether you're just someone who enjoys painting as a hobby, whether you're looking to try something new as an outlet, or as like an outlet or therapy or something. It really is a very good mindful tool in that sense. But I hope you enjoyed watching, and if you give it a go, let me know. Tag me on Instagram, drop me a message. If you give these flower watercolour blobs, I do need a better name, a go, I would love to see them. I think that's everything from me today, so thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this bit of a different video instead of a vlog, but more of a process video, and we'll be back next week, and I'll see you guys then. Thank you so much. Bye.